Yo guys, Aurelios here. Welcome back to another brand new video here on YouTube. Today I'm going to explain how I made my track. No time to waste, out on chapter 8. If you didn't already heard it, here's a short preview. It's been already supported by big DJs like Dada Life, music by Lucas, and so let's dive into the project and let's see how I made it. This is the project. This is not completed actually because I'm used to, as you might know if you've already seen all the videos, I'm used to make two projects, to split into the music production project and the other one where I do creative mixing, so where I add usually other stuff. Let's start from the vocal.
Let's go, there's no time to waste. We got to pick up the pace. Somehow we'll find a way. Right now I'm wide awake.
I took it from Ultra G House Vocal Volume 4. It's a kind of rap vocal and I thought that was cool to build the track around it. Here for the vocal I processed that a bit in a different way. I had some more OTT, just as like compression, some EQ to remove with a dynamic EQ some annoying frequencies, a deesser. I thought that there were a lot of has that were weird for that vocal, and so I removed them with deesser. Then this plugin, the Synth, I think it's one of the best plugins out there because it allows you to remove some resonances that you can remove with EQ, or at least you can do that, but it's not that easy to do. Then we have a delay. I don't know if it's for an automation, but I guess not, since it's not all wet. And then a flanger, in this case for an automation, as you can see from this knob, it's 0%, so it's not enabled. And then endless smile, always for an automation and just to remove some low end from the whole vocal. Let's go to the synth. This is the main synth that is covering the vocal. It's from the Massive Hicks, this preset I created by myself. It sounds very cool. I do love this VST. I mean, I don't use it a lot, but for the sound, like this 19th synth, it's pretty useful. For the processing, I add an OTT. Let's hear it before the processing, so not process it. Way better. Of course, a bit of multiband compression. Decapitator, it adds a lot of distortion. This one that adds a lot of high frequencies. Sounds real better, and also a bit more distorted. Another OTT to to compress that a bit more. And then FabFilter Saturn, I took this preset, I guess, yeah, for the color of this synth. And then at the end I added this EQ, of course, to remove the low end, because I added another bass and I had some more extra high end with this EQ. And then I added this bass. It's like a Reese bass with a lot of high end as well, and it's from Serum. Yeah, it's a preset that I created by myself. Soon I guess I'll release a soundbank for Serum. And that I didn't added any extra processing there because I had it here with hyperdimension to give it more stereo image, some more distortion, as you can see, tube distortion, and then compression plus filter just to remove some high end, as you can hear. All together sound like this.
Let's go, there's no time to waste. We got to pick up the pace. Somehow we'll find a way. Right now I'm wide awake.
Then I have these drums. Nothing special, just a top kick and clap. Then here in the build-up, as you can see, I used this automation for the vocal. Then I added this the synth in loop, as you can hear. And then a tonal riser. Here, as you can see, I added the main bass of the drop, like to introduce that in the build up. It's always cool to introduce your main melody. That could be a melody, so a lead, a synth, or a bass, main bass in this case, because of course the drop is all about the bass basically. And so I started to introduce that in a smooth way. Of course, I just moved the low hand of the bass at the beginning of the build up, and then of course I just made sure that the bass is all in the drop. Of course, I left the low end of this bass, this Reese bass. Then here I added some new drums, like in this case. This is a long fill. And then some other effects. Okay, basically for the drop I used this kick. I use this kick even for my track bombs. It's one of my favorite kicks, so yeah, probably I'll use it in my next productions. Pretty cool. It has a really cool low end. I guess I didn't had processing. Yeah, did. And then I added some drums. I just use this one as a perk loop. Probably you can see that exported in the piano roll because I added some swing. As you can see, there's the swing effect, Alt plus Q. There's this quantizer, and you can choose the template swing from here, grooves swing. And I always do like to use the swing at 75%, and so without the bass sounds like this. I added also this stub. I also used this preset from Nexus 3. I use that also as a stub for Bombs, the track I released on Revealed Radar. And I added some extra processing, some EQ to remove low hand, distortion, pattern just to add a lot of high hand, and then again another low cut, and this one to make it more in stereo with the has effect. Then let's see how I worked around the bass. As main bass, I used two main basses. The first one is called 808. This one has the sub frequencies, the low hand, and this one, same preset, without low hand but with more high frequencies, more stereo frequencies. So yeah, that's the reason why I duplicated this bass and I just did this thing. And the first one, the sub bass, is processed with a distortion, the British clean distortion, and then I did use the Kashmir Essential just to add some more extra compression and more character to the sub, and without with way better than before. Then the other one, second bass, it should be basically the top bass. I had the same processing of the first one, adding the Camel Crusher as a distortion, the Kashmir Essentials, and then I added this one, the Thermal. It's a really good plugin with this preset Spicy Room. It gives like more stereo frequencies, and of course I cut the low end with this EQ, and I added a doubler just to give stereo effect, but in the sides, so left and right. As you can see, there are both sources from left and right. Without, if I enable all effects, the mixing chain, and the main bass sounds like this. Sounds really really cool, but to make the bass more dynamic, I added these automations. This one from the top bass for the cutoff filter, so it's really more dynamic, as you can hear. As you can see, this is the cutoff knob, and if you do something like this and then just you go create automation clips, and in this case it creates that automation that you can see. Of course, as you can see now, there's this one internal controller, so it means that it's already routed to that automation. And then there's also a pitch bend to make sure that the bass gets more movement. Without automations, so basically automations made the difference in this case. Let's hear the whole drop with the kick, bass and all other percussions. And then again, in the second part of the drop, I added a third bass, another top bass. In the second part, you need to add another element. That could be a bass, that could be even a melody, could be more drums. In that case, I added more drums, but also this third layer. Another silent, in this case, it's called Zombie Rave. Same processing of other basses, Camel Crash with distortion, Kashmir Essentials, and then another low cut Valhalla Room just to get more reverb. And then I added a doubler. In this case, I removed the main source at the center, so you can hear just the left and right channel. So you can notice the difference in the drop with the other basses. Okay, now we're switching the project into the mixing project, where I actually added some more things and I exported all the stems and I made some adjustments. As you can see, I added a lot of extra effects, like in this case, just to make sure that the transitions are smooth and not raw. Also added an extra snare. And then for bread drop, I added this sub, and then this vocal, and two different fills, drum fills. I think it's always cool to create your own drum fills using different drum fills from other sample packs. For example, in this case, two different sample packs from Revealed, but I used two different fills, but just combining them you can create something unique that nobody heard before, so it's always super cool. As you can see in the drop, I added some extra effect like these ones. Just to fill some empty spaces to make the drop sound like more interesting and more dynamic. Then here, as you can see, there are a lot of other automations. They are always for the main bass, top bass actually, and for reverb and crystallizes sort of echo or delay, and you can hear what they do, basically hearing. For the main kick and bass, I am used to make this kind of extra sidechain compression, but made with volume automation in the sub bass, just to make sure that kick and the sub bass are not clashing together. So the kick has the space in the low end, as well as the main bass, sub bass. In second break, it's really similar to the first one.
go, there's no time to waste. We got to pick up the
Maybe I
pace.
added only this extra arpeggio. It's a sample.
I know you got to be free. What you want, let's make it happen. One by one, like a chain reaction. Let's go, there's no time to waste. We got to pick up the.
Then I added this breakbeat.
We got to pick up the pace. Somehow we'll find a.
For the main synth, I added another extra compression. Then I added an EQ just to remove always same annoying frequencies, some resonances, and I again removed some low end. I added another Saturn just to give more color to the sound, and then the S1 major to add some more stereo image to the main synth, so it sounds really cool. And then the hand and the smile just for, you know, for automations. Okay guys, we're at the end of this video. If you liked and you learned something new from it, just please leave a like and just subscribe to my channel with the bell on so you turn on all the notifications when I upload a video. Make sure also to listen to No Time to Waste out on chapter 8 with the link in the description, and see you soon with the next video.